and you feel a complicated feeling you don't have a name for yet. Level 4, the legislative assistant. You're 27. You own a portfolio now. Foreign policy, defense, veterans affairs. These issues belong to you and you belong to them. You brief the senator before hearings. You write his floor statements. You stand 2 feet behind him in rooms where decisions with real weight get made, and you slide index cards into his peripheral vision with the 3 things he needs to say. You are doing a substantial portion of the intellectual work of a United States senator. You make $62,000. You don't say the first part out loud. You think about it sometimes at midnight when you're still at your desk. The senator is not a fool. He's genuinely sharp on the handful of issues he's been living with for 20 years. But the portfolio is impossible for one person to master. That's why you exist. You travel with him to Brussels for a NATO summit. You travel with him to a US base in Germany. You have a passport with stamps in it now, and you eat a dinner in Belgium that would have cost you a week's paycheck, and it goes on the government card, and for one evening you feel like a person who lives a completely different kind of life. Back home, the schedule is punishing. 6 days a week when Congress is in session, 7 when something breaks, which is always. You missed your sister's rehearsal dinner. You missed your father turning 60. You've arrived late to every personal thing in your life for 3 years, and the people who love you have mostly stopped commenting on it because the conversation never changes. Your friends outside politics have started to feel like people you used to know. Level 5, the senior policy advisor. Somewhere in there, you made a move, a think tank, a committee staff position, a senior role inside an agency. However it happened, you're at the table now. Real meetings, real stakes. You're 35 and you're helping shape policy that will touch millions of lives. And on the good days, you feel the gravity of that like something physical in your chest. A healthcare provision you spent 4 months fighting for is going to extend coverage to 200,000 people in rural counties. You know this because you built the model yourself. You also know that provision was cut down 3 separate times in negotiation, and what survived is about 60% of what it needed to be. You take the 60%. You have learned that you always take the 60% because the alternative is zero, and zero doesn't help anyone. You make $95,000. Real apartment. Loans are going down slowly. You've also aged in ways you notice in photos. Your therapist says you've built your entire sense of self around professional output, and you can't locate the line between who you are and what you produce. You tell her that might just be called ambition. She says there's a difference between ambition and disappearing into a job. You've started to think she might be tracking something real. Level 6, the chief of staff or agency director. You run something now. A Senate office, a division inside a federal department, a policy directorate. You have staff, you have a budget. When something goes sideways under your watch, it goes sideways with your name attached to it, and you made peace with that before you took the job. You're 40. You have seen political appointees arrive with enormous certainty about how government works and almost no knowledge of how government actually works. And you have quietly kept the engine running while they got up to speed. You are institutional memory. You know where the landmines are buried because you've seen people step on them. Your salary is $140,000. You own property. You have a retirement account that looks like something. From the outside, you are objectively a success. From the inside, you're managing a team burning out at different speeds while managing your own burnout underneath all of it. A story breaks. A subordinate made a call that looks terrible in a headline. You spend 2 weeks doing nothing except damage control. Press statements, internal reviews, congressional inquiries. The actual mission of your office sits completely still for a month. You come out the other side of it. You always come out the other side of it. A young staffer asks you how you stay even keeled under that kind of